right, on the air. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Shinesk. I'm Senior Application Engineer with Seiler Design Solutions, and welcome to our webinar today on using Civil 3D along with BIM360 Design with design collaboration. So we're moving beyond a little bit on BIM360 Docs into BIM360 Design with Civil 3D 2020.2. We've already gone ahead and done a webinar on setting up a BIM360 Docs and Design project. Both John Ofield and I did that a couple webinars back. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail in this webinar on doing that. We are going to focus instead on using this new design collaboration with Civil 3D to be able to share your drawings with not only multiple offices, but multiple design consultants on a typical Civil 3D project. And we'll talk about the, the benefits and the limitations of doing it. I don't have a whole lot of PowerPoint, so I'll click through these slides real quick here, and then we'll go right into the demonstration. So let me go to the next slide here. So the learning objectives of this webinar would be understanding and setting up your project workspace in BIM360 Docs and Design for Civil 3D, getting that ready. Creating and managing drawings from Civil 3D to BIM360 Docs and the 360 Design. Creating data shortcuts and reference files and how they're used and managed within the design collaboration for Civil 3D. And also being outside data integration. What if I have a drawing, if I'm using like plain AutoCAD and I need to integrate that in, how does that work? So we'll also talk about preparing for BIM360 Design. You'll need at least Civil 3D Update 2020.2. 2020.3 update just dropped this last week that contains some fixes and enhancements for design collaboration. Is recommended you update to at least that. You'll also need to install the Autodesk Desktop connector for the process to work. Most importantly, your contract manager and or depending on your subscription, new view account admin must assign design collaboration for Civil 3D to its users. So there's actually a new, under products and services, it's actually a service toggle for new, I believe for new accounts or new users who bring in when you assign the AEC collection or Civil 3D to products and services, that design collaboration is turned on. If not, for previous users, you actually have to go back into their contract management page and then go to those users and make sure that is checked on. Otherwise, they will not be able to use the design collaboration. And you also will have to upload any other documents as necessary for sharing among team members. We'll also talk about some pitfalls. Some sheet set behavior is not consistent among other users. Certain types of files are not going to be able to be used. So if you're thinking of doing this as like a replacement for your file server, that's not going to happen anytime soon. There's still certain file types and certain functions that will not work with this method. And then there's some possibility, sometimes crashes cause things to go a little wonky, which may upset the apple cart when it comes to the design flow. Nothing major, just a couple items here and there. So we'll go ahead and just get straight into the demonstration. So here you'll see I am running Civil 3D 2020.3 update. The first thing you'll notice when you update to Civil 3D 2020 and you have the design collaboration turned on, I am logged in with my username and password. I am also logged into the Autodesk Desktop connector, so I have the Desktop connector up and running as well. We'll be using that. We're looking at our drives and items. The first thing I'll notice here in Civil 3D is if I go to my Start tab. Not a lot of people use the Start tab anymore, but they've redefined and reestablished the Start tab. So your recent file list now is more usable as well as some sections here for the collaboration. Not only am I looking at my recent files, but I can look at my BIM360 projects through this interface within Civil 3D as well. Different drawings that I have open or closed, and you could tell whether an item is on the cloud or if it is a local hard drive file as well. So this is new functionality that you'll see here as well. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is set up our project. So I'm going to run over here. I have a BIM360 Docs project already set up. I made one called Civil 3D Design Collaboration. I've just gone ahead and added myself as a user, and I've made up another dummy user for this demonstration here. So there'll be a couple members that I'll be collaborating here with and giving them permission. So I have the admin permissions, and my member is just a design class, just a typical designer or user of Civil 3D. So back in my document management, all of our docs, similar to when you're doing collaboration for Revit, all my doc files are going to be down here in my project files section of the document, BIM360 Docs document management. I will not be doing anything outside of that. The file structure you use in this settings, I have a very simple file structure. I've set up a section for some design drawings. I've set up some sections for data shortcuts, and I set up a section for putting up output drawings as well. And then I have a sheet set up here as well. We'll show you how that does work and how it doesn't work. Doesn't work as well as it should, but hopefully they're working on a fix for that. The design collaboration and the data shortcuts do work really well. Now, let's go into Civil 3D and basically show how the whole system works. So back here in Civil 3D, I have some drawings I've already uploaded into Civil 3D. I have some let's go to my drawings. So you can see I have an existing site. I have some geometry. This is a typical format for my performance. When I'm doing Civil 3D design, I will break out my design into several separate drawings. Now, unlike Revit collaboration, again, only one person can be in this drawing at a time. Those that are in a drawing, you'll see the little lock symbol has been locked out. But let me go ahead and go into one of those drawings. So if I go to BIM360, and I'll open up that parcel layout drawing. Now, what it's doing is it's always copying the latest version from the cloud. So by opening that drawing, that BIM360 design drawing is coming out of the cloud and it's put on my local cache on my C drive. So the way this roundabout works, that Autodesk desktop connector is a local drive on my hard drive. That's my local area. So as I'm doing and running these drawings from the BIM360 desktop, from the BIM360 docs, it's copying a local cache copy down for me to work on. So now you can see that I'm in this drawing. If I come back to BIM360 docs, you can see it's been locked. That drawing has been locked by me. Actually, I had it open before. Let me open up another one here. I'll go ahead and open up. And I don't have to open up from the start menu. I can say open, which opens up my regular dialog box. And I can come down here to my BIM360 desktop connector, and I'll go into my design this way. So it acts just like a folder, design drawings, and I'll open up that existing site. So you can see now I have an existing site model. This is my survey model that I have here. Did I open that? Yes, so that's my cached copy there. And then you can see back here on that my existing site has been opened up as well. Oops, let me go back. I'm in the wrong folder there, mister. There we go. So there's my existing site drawings. As I do items like save or work on or modify the drawings, it will save and write it back. And so back here in the Autodesk desktop connector, it's synchronizing my drawing. So now I'm pending actions. I went ahead and said save on that. So you can see my action here in the BIM360 desktop connector. It is now running and synchronizing that back to BIM360 Docs. Okay, so it knows I'm in the file. I'm ready to go. Data shortcuts are set up the same way as typically. So I have set up several different data shortcuts, similar to the way you are setting up data shortcuts now. I right click and you can see my data shortcut. I have a little cloud symbol next to my data shortcuts, and I have a little cloud symbol next to my drawing. So these are new icons that appear in your tool space that say, hey, this is a cloud collaboration drawing. This is a cloud drawing. It's locked by me. It's opened by me. If somebody else was trying to open this drawing up off of the BIM360 Docs site, they would only be able to open up read-only. But the data shortcuts work the same as well. You set up your working folder. Your working folder, instead of being on the hard drive, is here under your BIM360. So I would end up going back to my BIM360, going through the desktop connector, going to my design collaboration, and I set that as my working folder. And then once you do that, any data shortcuts get treated as normal. I set up a project folder. Here's civil design collaboration. If I go back to my BIM360 desktop, I set my data shortcuts folder I made in BIM360 Docs as my working folder. There's my project folder, and then any of my shortcuts that I make just as normal, except now instead of being on a local hard drive, they're up here in the cloud and they're synced back to my BIM360 desktop connector. So any other shortcuts, I've already shortcutted out my surface here. If I made something like a tiny alignment here, I'll just make a quick alignment. I'll just walk one down here like this. Enter. Okay, there's my new alignment. Once I save my drawing, as you would normally, I can then go ahead and right click and say create data shortcuts. There's my new alignment I just made, my alignment 1. I'll go ahead and check that. So all the data shortcuts work the same, except now it's shifted that to the BIM360 Docs website. So now I can come back to my parcel layout. Once that's done, right click under alignments, under my data shortcuts. There's my alignment 1 I just made. Create reference, bring it in. There's the alignment I just made from one drawing to another. So data shortcuts work fantastically across the board using the BIM360. Now, all you're seeing here is me working locally here. I'll switch to another computer. I have a virtual machine running here. I'm signed in as the other user. So if I go to my start menu, go to my BIM360 Docs, it's going to read that folder, hopefully. Project files. There's my design drawings. So I already had that parcel layout open. Notice the lock symbols next to these. It's because I have them open in my other files, so anybody else that's doing design collaboration, they're going to see that those are locked. If I try to open this existing site or this parcel layout, I'm only going to be able to open them read-only, and I will not be able to synchronize them back. Okay, but I can open up any of the other road geometry. Let's say open up proposed road geometry. It's going to download that file from the site, and it's going to bring that in. So here's that file that I had up on the cloud. I now have that open. If I go ahead and set my working folder here to the same location, project files, data shortcuts, select folder. I'll right click now and set my data shortcuts project folder, design collaboration. So now it's transferring those multiple files down here when I'm doing that. So that's going to take a second here for me to synchronize up. I'm basically getting a copy of all the data shortcut XML files and synchronizing all the drawings. So it's synchronizing all the drawings that have data shortcuts with my Autodesk desktop connector. This is the first time I run the desktop connector on here. Okay, so now my shortcuts are in there. If I wanted to surface, just like it works in a local project, I'm remote. You know, this server here is in Ohio someplace. If I wanted that existing ground, I can just create reference. Oh, I haven't assigned myself. John, I don't know if you can assign, when you get a chance here, can you assign design collaboration to ADES training 01? I should have had you do that ahead of time. Sorry about that. I don't have, this is what happens. See, I don't have the design collaboration assigned to me, so I can't actually do the data shortcutting on here with this particular project user. But you can see the files come across okay. That portion of it will still work. I just won't be able to use any of the data shortcuts or the shortcutting apps. So let me go back to my regular Civil 3D and carry on what I was doing here. So any other things that you're going to be using for this will work just fine as far as the drawing data as how you expected. Now, what if I am working on a project that is an AutoCAD drawing? I'm an architect. I've gone ahead or worked with my architect, or I'm working with a planner, and the planner has a copy of the drawing layout. So if I go ahead and here and open a drawing, and on my desktop I have this particular drawing here. I have my house layout. The designer has exported out a plain AutoCAD drawing for me, and I have these house layouts I'm putting up here to copy back so the engineer can see where the new house designs are going to be, so they can grade appropriately for the driveways. If you notice in plain AutoCAD 2020, I have absolutely zero interface for putting drawings back from AutoCAD to BIM360 Design. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to come in here through the web interface to do so. So if I wanted to put this back, maybe I can make I'll make a new, I'll add a folder and I'll call it from others, and this is something that the project manager would do, and then he would assign permissions, and permissions should be set because it's part of that subfolder. Okay, there we go. What that person who has access to the project, because they don't have Civil 3D or access to the Civil 3D design collaboration, they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. From the web interface here, I can upload those files. Now, there's two ways to upload the files. If I wanted to upload the files with XREFs, so that's that house layout, I'm going to have to not only choose the house layout, but I'm going to have to choose the reference drawings as well. So here's the house layout drawing. This is the one I want to put up there, but I want to make sure the XREF is up there. So I actually have to select the XREF as well. Actually, take that back. It wouldn't be upload files. It would be upload linked files. So I got to pull this pull down here, say upload linked files. There we go. Now I can go to design collaboration, choose the house layout and the XREF files. And when you do the linked files, okay, it's going to say which one is the parent file. Okay, house layout is my parent file. That's the main file. Any other files I have attached to here are going to be XREF files. Okay, continue. And now it's going to go ahead and process and upload those files and maintain the XREF. Whereas back here in Civil 3D, if I come back here into Civil 3D, if I have a new file, let's say I make a brand new drawing, I'll use the Imperial NCS, and let's say I bring in, I'll create a reference to the existing ground. Okay, there's my data shortcut, and let's say I'll go ahead and I'll XREF that same drawing that I'm XREFing. So I'm going to attach a drawing. I'm going to come back here to my desktop, and I'm going to find that same drawing. I'm gonna give it a different name here. I'm gonna copy it just for simplicity, just to keep the two separate, so you can see. So there's a copy of that drawing. We'll go ahead and bring that copy in, drop it right into place. Okay. So this is a brand new drawing. Started drawing 2. I did a data shortcut to the existing ground. I brought in my background drawing as an XREF. Now this XREF is on my hard drive. Right here now I can say File, Save As, and I'm going to save it to the BIM360 desktop. And I'm going to go into my project, go into my design drawings. And I'll call this temp layout with reference, and hit save. Okay. The local drawing has an XREF to point to a local drive, so the drawing can't be saved in BIM360. Both the drawing and this XREF need to be in the same data storage environment. Okay, so you can see what happens here. I cannot save the drawing to BIM360 because the XREF is on the local drive. So I would have to go ahead to that local folder first, save any drawings I have that I'm going to XREF. So any of my XREFs that I'm going to maintain, that I want to make sure I copy to BIM3. So if I want to save a brand new drawing to BIM360, I'm using those XREFs. The XREFs have to be on the BIM360 website for that to happen. Now I'm doing it back here, going back to that first drawing that I've published. It's shown in folders. Now that I have the original up here in the from others, I could just go back here to my Civil 3D, find that XREF, detach it, and now I can go ahead and I can say attach drawing. Now, if I find that same drawing here up on my BIM360 collaboration, so you can see some of the pitfalls here. Oops, from others, there it is. So now it's going to download it, make sure it's in there. Now, if I save this drawing, File, Save As, put it in my BIM360 Design Collaboration folder, Project Files, Design, Temp, Layout, save. Now, because that XREF was already on the BIM360 site, it saves with no issue and is uploaded. Okay, so those are the kind of things that you have to watch out for. Make sure that reference files are on the site, otherwise you got to manually copy them up. Your XREFs or your data shortcuts will work fine across the board. The one issue I may have problems with is sheet sets. Let's see if I can go back to this guy. I have a sheet set, so I'm going to go ahead and say open, and I'm going to change this to, oops, not that way. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to sheet set manager. Okay, and I'm going to open one from the BIM360. This PC, BIM360, Civil Design Collaboration, Project Files, Output Drawings. You see I have a sheet set there. So this is a drawing that I published up on BIM360. We used to have issues with this. I'm going to open that and see if it, the drawing contains less, so it was not found. It can't find the drawings, and that's one of the issues we have with sheet set drawings across multiple users. This is one thing that I've come across before. Certainly, I'm not sure how to handle this at this time. If I go ahead and manually go ahead to find out where those drawings are, if I copy them to the let's go here to this PC, BIM360. And this is definitely an issue that needs to be taken care of, because several of the routines, like the automated cross-section sheet layout and the planet profile creation routine, rely on the sheet sets for creating the sites. I mean, you can still open them manually after the fact, but I know a lot of companies do run sheet sets, and that is going to be an issue if it can't automatically find those and bring those down. So here's the manual drawing brought in. Now it opens up the sheet set. Let's see if it finds it this time. So now I can find the drawing. So I guess if you manually open the drawings that are in the sheet set, make sure they're tied into your site. Let's see if I can find a second one here. It should work okay. Let's see if I double click on this. Yeah, so once the sheet was copied down from BIM360 Design or BIM360 Docs Cloud to my local cache area, and I had the drawing open manually, it could find the sheet sets just fine. So that's one thing that we have to watch out for, is that functionality, and we'll see how that plays out further down the road. One final recommendation I have for you. So when you publish, in the end here, one of the things we do with collaboration is publish those extra plan sets. Is my recommendation you do not publish the drawings to the plan area. Go about your normal publishing of file sets using the plot and publish tool, and then go ahead and copy the PDFs up to the plan areas. So if I got a set here that I made on my desktop, so I got a PDF collaboration set, just go ahead and, I'll add a subfolder here, call them 30% or something like that. Remember, the plan section of BIM360 can only be for PDFs, DWFs, DWGs, and Revit models. And then I'll just go ahead and upload that PDF set that I have here. And if I have my templates for first, I'll just skip that for now. I've showed that before in the past in the docs. You can run a template on your PDFs to extract sheet name, sheet number, any of those other ones. So let's go ahead and publish those out. This way, it's a PDF. Everybody, even those that are not on the design collaboration, can publish to PDF and put those PDFs or DWFs up to the cloud. It just makes it easier to control. That way you don't have multiple drawings, which one's the output drawing, which one is the extra output. We can just do a finished PDF published to the plan set. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the design collaboration, you can see it's gone ahead and finished initial processing. I just got my email. So now I can look at the plan sets. It's doing it's still publishing. Okay, collaboration sheet set. It's ready, view. 3 sheets. Oh, it's asked me if I want to define a layout, which I don't. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it for BIM360 Design collaboration with Civil 3D. It is working. I recommend you try it out on a small project. I wouldn't rush to say, hey, this is a brand new project that's super critical yet. Try it on a small project. Try collaboration within your office first. See how it works. If it works and fits in, maybe slowly add to it. Autodesk is aware of the issues of things like the sheet sets, and hopefully they'll work on that very shortly in getting some of those final things ironed out. This 2020.3 update has really gone ahead and fixed some of the major problems that we had at the original outset of it, and we only hope to see it grow more from here. I don't think there'll ever be any kind of, multiple people being able to work on a single drawing. That's just just the way AutoCAD files work. They're not set up for that type of functionality, but follow the same rules you're using now. Multiple drawings, again, several small drawings. Use data shortcuts. Use XREFs to bring those across. And I hope this has helped kind of explain the collaboration. Do we have any questions? I don't see any questions. Okay. With that, I thank you very much for joining the webinar. This has been recorded. I will go ahead and this will be posted to our blog after that if you'd like to see a copy or share a copy of the recording. Again, thank you for coming. If you have any questions, you can contact us. Actually, I got to change that email. Should be cadtechnical@seiler.com. Please go ahead and visit and follow our blog if you don't already do at www.seiler-ds.com/blog for news, tips, and tricks on Autodesk products, GeoSLAM products, drones, you name it. We're always throwing something fun up there or some important items up there as well. So thank you very much for your time. I hope it was informative, and I will see you in a month or two. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.